My name is Mark, or at least it was. The Mark you knew, the one who believed in forever, the quiet architect of a perfect little world built on the bedrock of shared dreams and unwavering trust. That Mark is gone. He died the day I found out. He died in the silence of our meticulously planned home, the silence that followed the scream I couldn't utter. The moment I looked at the screen of her phone and saw not just a message, but the detonation of my entire existence. Sarah. Her name still tastes like ash in my mouth. She was radiant, wasn't she? Charming, effortlessly so. The kind of woman people gravitated towards, a bright, captivating force. And I, her steady anchor, her quiet admirer, her foundation. I loved her with a depth that felt almost inconvenient in its intensity. She was the woman I built my entire future around, brick by careful brick, blueprint by loving blueprint. Every detail of our life together, every shared ambition, every whispered dream beneath the covers, it was all so real, so tangible. We were going to travel the world, restore that old farmhouse we'd always admired, maybe even start a small bespoke architectural firm together. It wasn't just a life we were building, it was a legacy, our legacy. And then a text message. A casual, intimate phrase that wasn't meant for me. A name I didn't recognize, followed by words that burned themselves into my retina, searing away every beautiful memory, replacing them with a chilling, stark truth. She didn't just cheat. That word, cheat, it's too small, too mundane for the seismic shift that occurred. She didn't just break my heart. She detonated our shared reality, leaving me in the dust of a lie so profound it distorted every moment that came before it. Every kiss, every promise, every shared laugh now felt like a cruel, elaborate performance, and I, the fool, had bought every ticket. The man I was died that day, replaced by something colder, something meticulously patient. A ghost, perhaps, walking through the wreckage of his own life, but a ghost with one singular, unwavering purpose: to make her understand, truly understand, what she had lost. Not just a husband, not just a home, but something far more fundamental. For weeks, I floated, an empty vessel in a familiar house. The smell of her perfume, the sound of her humming, the way the light fell through the kitchen window in the mornings, everything was a fresh wound. I wanted to scream. I wanted to shatter everything, to inflict on her the same pain she had inflicted on me. I wanted public humiliation, the kind that would follow her like a shadow. I wanted her to feel the crushing weight of public scorn, to watch her perfectly curated image crumble to dust. But then, a cold clarity began to settle in the chaos of my grief. Sarah thrives on that image. She lives for external validation, for the adoration of others, for the perfect, unblemished facade she presents to the world. Destroying her reputation? It would be a messy, fleeting victory. She would rebrand, rebuild, move on to another perfect narrative, another audience. That wasn't enough. That wouldn't touch the core of her, the self-serving heart that had so carelessly discarded me. My revenge had to be different. It had to be insidious. It had to resonate in the deepest, most terrifying part of her consciousness. It struck me late one night, staring at the blueprints for a project we had just completed, a project she had gushed over, taking credit for ideas that were entirely mine. I wasn't going to destroy her life. I was going to erase her from the narrative of the life we built together. Imagine a painter meticulously creating a masterpiece, only for someone to come along and meticulously, delicately remove every trace of their contribution. Not by slashing the canvas, but by seamlessly painting over their work, leaving no evidence they were ever there. That was my plan. The first step was the house, our house. The one we designed together, that open-plan kitchen she loved, the sun-drenched study, the bedroom with the bay window overlooking the garden we cultivated. Every room held a memory of her, a trace of her presence. Instead of tearing it down, I began to subtly transform it. I started with the photos, not just throwing them away, that felt too childish. I digitized everything, then carefully, painstakingly cropped her out of every single one. Our vacations, holidays with friends, even our wedding album. I removed her, not just physically, but digitally. Then I printed new versions, framed them, and strategically placed them as if she was never there. A beautiful landscape where her arm had once been, an empty space on a couch, a group of friends laughing, but with a vacant spot where her vibrant smile once shone. It was an exercise in self-inflicted pain, a surgical removal of my own past. Each deleted pixel was a pang, a ghost limb twitching, but each successful edit was also a whisper of power. Then came the bigger changes. That vibrant, colorful art she had insisted on for the living room? Gone, replaced with minimalistic pieces that spoke to my own aesthetic, the one she had always dismissed as too serious. The antique desk she loved, the one we found at that charming little market in Provence? Sold, replaced with a sleek, modern workstation more fitting for the new Mark. I wasn't destroying the house, I was reclaiming it, reshaping it into a space that was entirely, unequivocally mine. Every piece of furniture, every decorative object that held a collective memory was systematically replaced, renovated, or repurposed until the space truly reflected an existence she had no part in. It became a living, breathing testament to my independence, a fortress of my own making. My professional life was the next frontier. We had always talked about starting our own firm, a boutique architectural practice focused on sustainable, innovative design. It was our dream, so I started it. I poured every ounce of my resurrected ambition into it. I worked tirelessly, fueled by a cold, steady fire, not of anger, but of perverse determination. I chased the clients we had always dreamed of. I designed the buildings we had always discussed. But I did it alone. Every success, every commendation, every prestigious award that came my way, it was all for Mark, not for Mark and Sarah. When people congratulated me, asked about her, I would offer a polite, distant reply. Sarah and I are no longer together. Never a detail, never a hint of the storm, just a quiet finality that left no room for questions. I reopened my social circles, but selectively. I nurtured friendships that were genuinely mine, not just extensions of the couple. I started new hobbies, ones I had always wanted to explore but never had time for. Photography, hiking, even learning to cook dishes she never enjoyed. I embraced the things that made me, the man she had so casually discarded. And through it all, I carried a strange, almost serene focus. I was rebuilding my life, achieving our shared dreams, pursuing our ambitions, but as if she was never truly a part of them. It was exhausting, this constant mental reconstruction, this conscious rewriting of my own history. But it was also empowering. I wasn't just surviving, I was thriving. And every time I achieved something she had coveted, every time I experienced a joy we had planned for, the quiet triumph was immense. And she watched. Oh, she watched. Sarah still moved in some of the same social circles. She would see my name in the local papers, read about my firm's growing success. She would hear whispers from mutual friends about the beautiful minimalist house I now lived in, the adventurous trips I was taking, the vibrant, engaged life I was building. She would see me at events, occasionally, with a calm, almost detached politeness. She expected anger, a broken man, a public display of pain. Instead, she saw a man who had not just moved on, but had expanded, grown, bloomed into something magnificent, something entirely his own, a life she had once been central to, but was now completely, irrevocably absent from. The true moment of her understanding wasn't a confrontation. It was a look. I saw her across a crowded gallery one evening, where one of my firm's projects was being featured. Her eyes met mine. There was no anger, no sadness on my face, just a quiet confidence. And in her eyes, I saw it. A flicker of confusion, then recognition, then a dawning horror. She didn't see a man she had hurt. She saw a man who had taken everything they built, everything they dreamed, and made it his own, leaving her standing on the outside, a ghost in her own desired future. She saw the magnificent life she always wanted unfold, brilliantly, vibrantly, a life she was completely, utterly erased from. She tried to approach me once, months later, at a charity event. Her smile, once so potent, felt forced, brittle. "Mark," she began, her voice soft, almost hesitant, "you've done so well. I'm really happy for you." She looked around, at the people who now respected me, admired my work, a life of substance and genuine achievement. I simply nodded, a small, polite smile on my face. "Thank you, Sarah. It's been quite a journey." And then I turned, easily, gracefully, to a new client, engaging in conversation, leaving her standing there, alone, on the periphery. She wouldn't be haunted by my anger. She wouldn't be haunted by public shame. She would be haunted by her own devastating irrelevance. She would realize the true cost of her betrayal. Not just a husband, not just a broken heart, but her very existence within the story she believed should have been hers. I didn't destroy her. I simply showed her a future she should have had, a future she built with me, but without her in it. And in that quiet, devastating absence, she would find her punishment. I am Mark, the architect, and I finally finished the most complex, yet most beautiful project of my life, my own.